Good morning, everyone. My name is Andy. This is my brother Mick, and this is our first ever guest on the Pair Podcast, the Major Vibe Show, Scotty Coristine.
Oh my God, welcome to the show, Scott. We flew in our greatest viber of all time.
From Montreal. He's in town, and Scotty is our top viber on the platform. He's always at the top of the charts or very close to it, and I think there's a lot that we can learn from Scott and his quite balanced lifestyle that he lives. And I think it's a great guest to have for our 10th episode.
The 10th episode.
Would you believe it?
We made it this far.
Unbelievable.
Are you believe it? I know.
Yeah, and it's the first time we have a triple setup here.
Yeah.
We have a center mic.
I like it.
Special for our guest. We have the little guys, but you have the
I feel
broadcasting standard.
I'm honored. This is great to be here.
So it's good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so as you know, as you are a fan of the podcast,
Of course.
we always start
Vibe scores,
with the vibe scores of the day.
Yeah, our
How
vibe
we
scores
vibing?
of the day. So let's start with Scotty.
Yeah, how you vibing today?
Vibing decently. 93. I've got a 93.
93, you're in the purple, so you're above
Purple,
your
yeah.
average,
Yes.
which is a great thing.
What is your average?
That's a good question. My average is an 88.
Which is a pretty high average.
It's decent, yeah.
Yes.
It's decent.
I think you're up there. There is a new
Algorithm.
user. There's a new
okay.
user on Pair who has a 92 average, but they're brand new. Athena.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
Very
yeah.
nice.
But
That
they're
is-
brand new. They only have a few days of recording, so
Yeah,
the
yeah.
average is going to change itself pretty quickly.
Exactly.
Okay, so Scotty's got a 93. I woke up this morning thinking, I was like, I'm definitely in the 90s. I slept endlessly and I feel great. But I woke up and I only had a 73. I had 8 hours of sleep, which is great for me. But my heart score, my stress meters were elevated. So that's why I'm only got a 73. But I feel great and that's okay. It is what it is. Maybe I'm coming up with a little cold, hanging out with the little kiddos.
Yep.
Scotty's got a little kiddos. A couple of them
They're all sick.
have the sickness. So maybe me kissing their faces gave me something. So who knows? But
Yeah.
I feel great. No problem.
And I'm looking at your trend over the month, and you're definitely starting to pile on higher and higher days.
Yes.
So whatever you're doing is working.
Keep doing it.
Is there anything specific you're doing?
I've been trying to eat more throughout my day. I think I've been at a calorie deficit. I've been fasting for like 5 years straight, maybe longer. And I've been at a calorie deficit. And I think I've been at a calorie deficit for too long and too much of one. And I've lost a lot of weight. And that affects the sleep. And my sleep was my biggest problem. So a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I started eating breakfast, which I haven't done. I never do breakfast.
Yeah.
So at first it kind of slowed me down. My body was so not used to eating breakfast. But yeah, just eating good breakfast, good whole foods, ground beef, eggs, that kind of stuff to
Great.
start the day, or a protein shake or a smoothie of some sort. Yeah, so we're trending upwards. We're getting better. The sleep is getting longer. It's getting better. Except for today and yesterday, my HRV has been like really bumping up. So we're doing the good stuff.
So you're trending higher.
Trending
Oh, your
higher,
phone goes.
trying to get better results.
Probably not
Excellent.
important.
And what's your vibe today?
So my vibe today is an 88.
Nice.
I'm 3 days in the purple zone.
That's
very
good
nice.
stuff.
I'm starting
You're
to
getting
pile on
purples,
those
yeah.
purples. For a while, I wasn't. But no, I'm feeling good. I'm getting really good sleep. I've been taking, the last couple of nights, I took ZQL gummies, which is chamomile and like ashwagandha or something, and they taste good.
And also
Wild.
the main sleeping ingredient of NyQuil, right?
No,
Not even?
I don't think so. These are like a natural one. It's under the
Oh.
ZQL brand.
Oh, okay.
So I got 7 hours of sleep, 4 hours restorative,
That's big ratio.
57%. So I'm in,
That's a lot of restorative.
yeah, so I'm into that. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good today.
Mhm.
Feeling pretty good. We had an early start to the day,
Yeah, early meeting.
and went a little too long. So that tends to burn me a little bit.
Oh, yes.
When meetings go too long,
For sure.
because then it's like diminishing returns.
Yep.
But all that to say, good stuff. Let's check the global leaderboard today,
Mhm.
which is ever expanding.
It
Ever
is.
expanding.
Yeah,
There's
every
been a
week
lot of
it's
new-
growing.
A lot of new users lately.
Okay, so Scott, unfortunately, you're not in the top 3 today.
I rarely am. I'm just consistently kind of
You're just consistently
around
90s,
there.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got Charlotte with a big 100 and on the top.
Yeah. Dom.
Dom with a 98. and Reed with a 96.
Very
Beautiful.
nice.
And so Reed tunes into this this here show quite often. And last week he had 300s
In a row.
In a row.
I see that. 3
that's
pinks
impressive.
in a row.
Yeah, so let's take a look at Rito over there. He's really, really crushing. Like he only has one blue day in the last, like, I don't know, looks like 10 days, which is very solid. And one thing I noticed on his chart, if I look at the 3-month chart, if we take a look at this, you see how, like, starting in March or whatever, March, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it starts in March or
Wait, how is that possible?
the day. It's August. It's August.
Yeah, the dates are messed up. But you can see that it's very sporadic. Like he has really a lot of highs and lows. But then as we get closer to today, it's much more consistent. And I'm finding a glitch right now because the dates are off.
Yeah, but that's okay.
But we will fix that. But yeah, so long story short, Rito is like consistently piling on the numbers.
Yeah, he's doing much better.
Which is great. Now let's take a look at the vibes of the week. Okay, so we got Scotty, number 1.
For the week?
Consistency.
I had a good week.
And that's interesting because you're on vacation. And when you're on vacation, you're usually away from your normal routine. But I guess you're pretty bulletproof.
I think is key to a good vibe. But I often, like at least in terms of Whoop recoveries, I often do well on vacation. So yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's strange. You're definitely an anomaly.
Yeah, and I often, like when I'm at home, I'm working out, and when I'm on vacation, I'm not. But I find there's a correlation between not working out and getting high scores, strangely enough.
It's funny you say that because we have one user, Zalata, shout out. Like the key to her having a high HRV and a high vibe score is not to work out. It's to drink more coffee and not work out, and her HRV goes up.
Yeah, I will say I've been consuming more than I usually do in terms of coffee this past week.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a correlation there too.
Because you hit a 102 the other day.
I did, yeah, which is higher than I normally am in terms of HRV.
That's excellent. So back to the 1 week, the weekly leaderboard here. We got Scotty, number 1, Athena, number 2.
New Athena or?
New Athena.
Okay.
Very
New
nice.
Athena. And Reed, number 3. And then not far behind Reed is his better half, Carolina.
I would say tied.
Yeah, they're tied with a 90.
Great
so
stuff.
that's pretty amazing. That's a power couple right there.
Very nice.
That is a power couple. I'm in 8th place for the week.
No, I mean,
Dre, where are you? 17th.
I'm hanging out.
But look, the leaderboard's expanding.
I'm halfway into the leaderboard.
Look at this. On the week, we got
29 users.
Hey,
come on, man.
It's a party place.
I like it.
Excellent. All right, so this is the end of the vibe score section. And now we move on to pair updates, which is kind of the reason we're doing this, is to update the world and document the journey. Because you know, when we sell this company for like $14 billion to the
only billion
to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we sell early.
Okay.
Yeah, we sold early because you know we just want to have a chill life. I'm not in here for the big money.
I'm not in here for the trillions.
Yeah, we're here for the vibes, and billions are good. So, Dre, tell us what's new in the world of pair.
What's new in the world of pair? You're the updates guy.
I'll be honest. There's been a lot of updates.
Yeah, like we're getting. You're the one who works directly with Carson, the developer.
No, but I mean in general. I don't mean like specific updates. Like, oh, there's a new keyboard feature. I mean like focus is something that we're trying to figure out, because now that we have Carson full time, because we can have anything we want.
You got to choose what you want.
We have to choose what directly goes with what we're trying to achieve. And it's like when you're so close to the trees as we are right now, it's hard to see the forest. Like we know what we're trying to do, but now that we can have any feature we want, the list starts to get huge and things can happen. But is this helping us retain users? Is it helping us see that users are opening the app? So
for pair updates, at least for the things that I want in my head, the way I see it is, I want pair to be like, for me, I feel like pair is a place where I get motivated by other people, right? So like you see Scotty getting these good results, like, okay, what did Scotty do to get these good results, right? Because we see Scotty's results, but seeing just his vibe score is not enough for me to like want to make changes for myself, because I want to know what is going on over there. So for me, in the coming weeks or months to update pair, I would love to be able to have prompts that ask Scotty, hey, you've been killing this week. Do you want to share with the community what you've been up to? And that turns into a post that I can see. And now I can say, oh, this is what he's been doing. This motivates me. So I just want to add features and little things about our users that can help other users vibe better and feel better and be better. So little things like even adding the steps, like we said, steps is not a big thing, but let's say we were on the phone with Trin earlier today, and he's like, oh yeah, I really don't do any steps at all. Or Carson said that too. And I said, yeah, but let's say you saw me hitting 10,000 a day, which is not that much, and you're hitting 10,000 a day. Well, Carson, who's at his desk all day, might end up just buying one of those little under the desk treadmills for a couple $100, and he's getting his steps in without having to actually do that much.
Exactly.
And the more you're active, the better your whole body is, the better your mind is, and everything, right?
Yeah, it's like we want to influence people in a positive way. Like use like herd mentality, but like for the good.
Yeah,
absolutely. So I remember when I first started with Whoop, you guys got me on board, and I'm pretty competitive, and I think we were in a group that us plus Jules, and she had a very high HRV and a very low resting heart rate, and she was getting better recoveries than me, and I wanted to beat her. So I started making little changes. I did zero cardio. And so like I started doing cardio because it's supposed to be good for everything.
Yeah.
And like, slowly but surely noticing little improvements and stuff like that. So similar to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Where
that's really interesting. And it's great to have you here because we can actually ask you rather than like assume what users want,
For sure.
Like we can. So I guess so before you were in a Whoop group or anything, you had no reason to be competitive, right? Because if it's just you,
with your health,
I didn't even have any, like I had an Apple Watch, which I would wear mostly when I was working out. Sometimes I would wear it at night, but not consistently enough to actually get any meaningful data from it, right? Apart from workouts. So yeah, Whoop for sure changed that. And now even with the Apple Watch integration for pair also changed because you need to be consistent. You need to wear it so that it's actually relevant. Whereas like if you wear it one night out of every 3, kind of useless. Like you're not really getting any meaningful.
So do you think Ange she has a vibe score every day? So is she wearing it more now since she's on pair?
Yeah, she wears it every night now, and she's aware of how much REM she's getting, how much deep sleep she's getting, or lack thereof with 2 kids.
Yeah, of course,
young kids,
of course.
So,
but before it was less of a.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because she seemed advanced.
She was more advanced, and I think because we just had a kid a few months ago. She was wearing it then because she kind of wanted to see how much she was sleeping, obviously being up a lot at night and things like that.
Yeah.
So she was starting to get there, but now she's very consistent, wearing it all the time, which definitely for.
That's great insight too, because she wants to see every day and she wants to see you and you want to see her.
Exactly.
And so that's kind of like a fundamental, you're saying we have to build the house, but I'm always on the foundation. You're always on the house.
Mm-hmm.
You need both.
Yeah,
to have a great place to live, right?
Yeah.
The foundation has to be strong, but I like that Angie's using it more. You were competitive on Whoop. Are you competitive in pair?
Of course.
Okay, so you are, because I'm not competitive. Like, I'm not a competitive person. Like, I'm always trying to beat myself. I'm
competitive with yourself.
Yeah. I'm competitive with myself.
Yeah, which I probably am too. Like, it's hard to, try to beat somebody because it's kind of an invisible target. You only know what their score is the following day.
Yeah.
But no, for sure you're competitive.
Yeah. I definitely don't want to be disgraced. Like I can stay up. Like I don't have any kids. I don't have any like evening responsibilities. I can party every night.
Yes.
But I don't do that. And I think it's extremely crucial that other people can see my score. So I'm not really as competitive as I am afraid to look like a disgrace.
Fair enough.
Well, but it makes sense though, because even other people, friends of mine who are on pair, and myself included, it's like, yeah, I could disgrace myself. I could go crazy with snacks all night. I could stay up at all hours of the night if I'm into a show or a documentary or something. But I know that, damn, if I do behave this way, my vibe score is going to be terrible and everyone's going to see it and I'm going to be at the bottom of the leaderboard, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
When I'm at the bottom of the leaderboard and I put the effort, fine, that's one thing. But
Yeah.
if I'm always indulging and not being consistent with my sleep, not being consistent with my food, it's embarrassing almost. And you don't want to embarrass yourself. Every now and then it's not a problem, but
Yeah.
Pair really does help keep me and a lot of other people accountable. And
For sure.
and I think
That's a key
some people
feature.
And that's exactly what it was prior to Pair with Whoop, but it was a very small user base. And it's obviously only Whoop users. It wasn't, Ange doesn't have a Whoop. She's not that into wearables yet. Obviously, Aura is a whole different thing, which is what's so cool about this, I think, because all of your friends, a lot of my friends have Garmin's or they have this wearable or that wearable, but you don't really know how they're doing because you're not in that little bubble that they're in.
Totally.
So it's cool to be able to see how Ange is doing, for example. It's
yeah,
great.
and even your friends, like, so you, a couple of years ago, you started like biking, cycling. What do you call that?
cycling. Yeah.
Cycling. So you
Hogging.
started cycling,
Hogging.
and you're doing that with a lot of the guys,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they, I guess, have devices to be able to measure whatever it is. So, yeah, being able to get them on Pair
For sure.
is really cool because now you can see all their kind of metrics and stats without having to go individually and ask them and stuff, because Pair's the only place where you can have any wearable and get a vibe score and be on a leaderboard. So
Yeah. See how they're doing. See if they've been a little spicy last night.
yeah,
And that's like a fun part too, because
For
if
sure.
you're not spicy every day, once in a while you're spicy. Like, I want to earn that yellow.
yeah, it's
You know what?
fun. It's
Absolutely.
fun to
I'm going
get
for
that
it.
terrible
I
score.
want to
sure.
earn that yellow.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Once in a while I get spicy, but I think I do it a lot less, and especially because of Pair and because of that visibility. But it needs to be, an enjoyable time, I'll say, as opposed to like, we used to go out every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday,
Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Tuesday, Suco Tuesdays.
Suco Tuesdays. Yeah, exactly. And we had a lot of good times, but I'm sure a lot of
That was not a sustainable
mediocre
lifestyle.
No, and a lot of mediocre times as well, which, for me at least, with 2 kids and working all that, like I'd rather not waste my time on those mediocre nights.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have a fun night and then be
one fun
consistent.
night out and have another 10, 12, 15 days of chill.
Of
Exactly.
purple zone.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I get that. And
And that's a tip too. Once in a while, a yellow night helps you with the purple nights.
Well, yeah, as Jim
it
Kalila
does.
says, you got to shock the system.
It's
You
true.
got to shock the system
Gotta
every
shock the
now and
system.
then.
It's true.
Yeah.
and I do see a lot of people when they hit their yellows, it's almost like a little wake up call.
Mm-hmm.
For
It's
sure.
like, okay, I got to, and everyone usually V-shape recoveries out of a yellow.
Yeah. And you never want to have more than one yellow day. Like if you have 2
In a
yellow
row?
days in a row, you start to feel you start to feel not good.
Yeah, it's like the stock market. When a stock's down 20%, usually pops up a little bit the next day.
Exactly. When the stock's down 20% in like 2 or 3 days, you're going to buy because you know it's going to go up.
It's going to pop.
But then if you buy the dip and it goes down another 20%,
You buy a bit more.
You got to buy a bit more. Never go all in on the first dip. In case it dips a little bit more, go half in.
Wise words.
And then if it dips again, then go balls to the wall. Go take your other half and pray.
There we go.
Pray the whole world isn't going down.
So I'm hearing competition.
Yeah.
Like friendly competition.
Mhm.
I'm hearing accountability.
Yep.
Right? Because now that Ange can see you, she'll know damn right if you've been a spicy boy,
For
right?
sure, yeah. Well, she knows anyway.
I mean, they live together,
Yeah.
right? They sleep in the same bed.
totally,
Yeah.
totally. But I don't know, sometimes Eula goes to bed earlier than I do.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you could stay up for another 6 hours.
And then
after
if
she
I
goes
wake
to
up
bed.
in the yellow zone, she's like, hey,
Uh-oh.
dude, what'd you get up to last night?
What'd you do last
yeah,
night?
what
Yeah.
were you watching on the TV?
Yeah, what was I watching on that TV? But something my brother brought up, and part of the brainstorm of today is we're trying to make a better experience for the users. We just started using this program called Post Hog. And what it does is it gives us insights from our database and from the usage of the users. So we see that right when people log in, they check their vibe score,
Mhm.
and then they check someone else. On average, Pair users are checking on 8 other people.
Mhm.
So that's like pretty cool.
For sure.
That's pretty cool that that's going on.
Mhm.
Also, we can see who views a lot of people.
Yep.
And because you're like beta user and we're just like going in, we're this is Scotty, and we
Yeah.
know what you're doing.
For sure.
And you have amazing scores, and you're active in the behind the scenes.
Sure.
But what my brother was talking about is how do we prompt you? Because let's say I comment on your score or
Mhm.
someone comments, you're replying.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if Pear were to say, you've been on a 7-day purple streak, would you like to share something that specifically that you've been doing in this recent period that you could share with everybody else? And that would like create a post.
Yeah. So what I was saying was like, there's many different types of users of all social medias, right? Scotty's been on Instagram forever. We'll send each other memes and car reels and stuff like that. But Scotty posts once every 5 years. And he posts a story maybe once every 5 years.
I'm not sure if I've ever posted a story.
Exactly. So Scotty doesn't post, but he's always there. He's always lurking and he always knows what's going on. He's watching the stories, but he's not actively a posting guy.
Yeah.
So in Pear, we can't always expect people to like just post a life hack or post a stress hack or whatever. So to me, it's like, okay, how can I get Scotty, who a lot of people can look up to on this platform, how can I get him to post more? Well, don't ask him to post. Have Pear, the software, prompt him. Hey, you've been doing really good. Can you write something about what you did and then share it? That means now he's prompted. He presses a couple buttons, maybe types a few things, it goes into the feed. Then people engage with it. So then it's like, okay, Scotty didn't go and click, what am I doing? He was asked a question. He answered the question. And that question is going to help other people.
Is that of interest to you?
For sure. Yeah, no, I think that's useful. I think, maybe presenting a couple of options in terms of like things that I might have been doing would also be good because then you can have like some consistency or some clarity as to like what happens as opposed to just like a
general thing. Like your HRV's been peaking. Like what have you done rather than just your overall vibe?
Yeah. Have you been exercising more? Have you been like not exercising?
I'll pull up what I screenshotted from YouTube, a YouTube video last night. It asks like, is the above video a good recommendation for you? So like, that's just something where like I clicked on it. And then after I clicked on it, which I clicked yes, it said, why is it a good recommendation? And then I can choose between 5 different buttons. Everything, it's a novel, it's informative, it's useful, it's relaxing. Mm-hmm. So if we give a few points, Scotty might not even have to type a lot of stuff. He can just press a couple buttons. It makes it really easy. And it breaks that barrier to entry of having to manually input a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but I think that's the most important thing also is not directing the conversation, but just making it easy for people to, 2-3 clicks.
Yes.
And then you're getting data.
Yeah.
As opposed to typing thinking, okay, what did I do? Which is good too. And maybe giving them the option to do that, but allowing them to sort of just click a few
that's
buttons.
one type of post that the guys were bringing up, but also let's say you've been on a 7-day streak. Mm-hmm. It could just, an automated post that just says like to your friends or your tribe or to whoever is in your group. It's like Scotty just hit a 11-day streak, first time ever.
Yeah.
Just like the vibe score, this would be another place where people can go in and like the people that that follow you can engage with you and comment and start a little convo.
Yeah. Just an automated kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'd put some cool personality on it. The first versions would be pretty basic.
For sure.
Yeah.
But that's what we want to do because we're seeing that people are commenting on vibes. So how do we give them more things to
engage with?
To engage with. And my argument is always like, do we need engagement all day long?
No.
Right? Like there are certain apps or there's Uber or there's whatever, you use it as you need it, right? Like your car. Yeah. You don't need to be driving in your car all day for it to be a successful car.
Yeah.
But Dre brought up a good point, or Trin did too, was that if there's more reasons to be in the app, then there's more reminders of staying on track. And that's a completely different psychological mechanism that's like super important. So we don't want you on the app like 5 hours a day. But if you can come in morning, evening, and
afternoon,
evening, at least once or twice, and then you're reminded with positive inputs and stuff, it can be fuel to a good program.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like you say, it doesn't have to be 5 hours, but pop in the morning for 5-10 minutes, afternoon, same thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm into that. And directing the conversation like you were talking about, I'm interested in that because we're calling these new features experiments, I guess, like as of today, because that's what they are.
Yeah.
Are more posts, like for example, we have a lot of comments, we have a lot of likes. Mm-hmm. We don't have very many posts. So we're just seeing that. Like on average, there's like 1 or 2 posts a day,
right?
Versus everything else is a lot more.
To be honest, I forget to go into the feed for posts. I just went in today.
Okay,
but I probably haven't been in there for a week.
Okay,
which is cool. Like I like when I go in there and people are commenting and this is what I've done. This is what. But I don't remember to go in there all the time.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, it seems like you're not alone.
Yeah.
Like it seems like nobody's remembering to go in there.
Yeah.
So the way we set it up, maybe it's more connected to tribes. Like who knows? Like I like brainstorming on the architecture to see the flow of things. But in terms of, you were saying directing the conversation, right now in the feed, it's just like what's on your mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to incorporate like share good news, like, Dre's Good Vibe Fridays.
Yeah.
So, if you have good news, share it.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be a tag that you can share. Or it'll be like, do you have a question about the app? And you can, if you click that in the feed, you'll see the questions about the app.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also ask a question and then people can answer. So like directing them in a certain way. Do you have a vibe hack? Do you have feedback of the app?
So if you're interested in something, it brings you to that section as opposed to just showing you everything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
You can filter it by whatever you want.
And it'll prompt you, like, instead of saying what's going on, it'll say, share something that will help the community vibe higher,
right.
Or something like that. So yeah, all kinds of things, but see what I mean? It's like a fine line of like where focus starts to spell. Sure. So we always have to remind ourselves, like,
what's the core?
What is the core framework? Is it helping the user? Is it contributing to increase their vibe? And I don't know, we don't have it exactly set up, but that's the idea. Because if we can build something that is pumping people up and motivating them and showing actual growth in their REM sleep and deep sleep and all that shit, then that's pretty good. Yeah. Then we've like accomplished something.
For sure. Which, I think it does that by default, just by giving you a score and letting you check your friends. It's helping people be more conscious and potentially being healthier and making better choices as well.
Totally.
I know I do for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here. And I think they're like, as much as we want to develop new stuff, which I do, like I like making things. That's just me. And I know you like to make things too. But because we're so close to it, we don't actually see what it is accomplishing.
Right.
Like we're not giving maybe ourselves the credit, because we're always like not satisfied.
Yeah.
We're perpetually unsatisfied.
We're never satisfied. We always want to just do one thing and then, okay, let's make it better. Let's continue going. But we forget to acknowledge the great things that we've done so far, right?
Yeah, there are more users. We're about to crack the code on Garmin. It's like every day, Carson doesn't tell us it's going to work tomorrow or it's not. He says like 3 days ago, he's like 50%. The Garmin's going to load by itself. It didn't. Then the next day, he's like 70.
Okay.
So and then yesterday, he was like, okay, 84%, it's going to work tomorrow. Rob texted me this morning, Garmin didn't load yet.
And my friend who's been busting my balls, my friend Adam, he's been wanting to get on pair for so long and he has a Garmin. I'm like, well, like, Garmin's not like, it's like, we're not there yet. So every week he's like, yo, are we there yet? Are we there yet? So finally yesterday, my brother's like, we're right there with Garmin. Let's get Adam on. We get Adam on. It's a bust. He can't get a vibe score. And then I'm like, this is why I told you we can't get you on yet, because like we're still working out the little kinks. Every device an integration is completely different.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally different.
You're going to get that because like with Anne, she was the first Apple Watch user.
Yeah.
And same thing. It wasn't loading at first. Like, no vibe score this morning.
Yeah. The resting heart rate was wrong.
Yeah. But you guys were like on top of it, super responsive. And like, I think within a few days, she was
it takes a good week of back and forth because it really, the major things happen on the morning.
Right. Yeah.
So we have to figure that out. But we're close with Garmin.
Yeah.
We're close with Garmin, but that's the importance of having at this point, like people we know who are close with us.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first one is Rob.
Yep.
Then it's Adam. I got the Howler in.
Nice.
So I'm waiting for him to onboard.
Great.
Cool. It's a good thing he delayed because it's not completely worked out yet. But it's close. By the end of this week, we should have consistent Garmin.
Nice.
And then we have the big four.
Yeah, Garmin's huge. There's a ton of users.
And with Garmin is cool because a lot of the Garmin people are different than your average Whoop or Oura user. Garmin are more like nature, Iron Man, biking guys, like not me. But we don't have a lot of those types of people on the platform. So it would be great to get them in. And I'm sure there's like more communities where we can find more of those Garmin type people. Like I'm sure if I go to the Garmin Reddit, there's probably 10,000 users at least in there, right? I'm going to check right now.
I'm sure there's
just for the giggles.
Tons of Garmin users. Yeah. Probably more than Whoop or Oura because they've been around for a long time. And I think they're the only one that doesn't have like a recurring revenue model with subscriptions and stuff like that.
Who's this?
Garmin,
Garmin.
right? You buy the device, and then
Yeah,
there's no
like the
ongoing-
Garmin that Adam Swords has is $1,600.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
they're
Carson
expensive,
asked,
yeah.
what model does he have? Because like not all the models have everything. I'm
Yeah.
assuming his is like fully
Top
kitted
cheese.
out.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, that's
Yeah.
expensive. But
Yeah, and-
but that watch matches that guy's personality.
But
For
yeah,
sure.
and he's like a nature guy. He literally moved from LA to Lake Havasu, Arizona, and he's on a Sea-Doo every day, and he like goes out in like nature, and he'll go just sleep out in the forest
yeah.
for a week straight. But yeah, see, like Garmin watches community on Reddit, 93,000 members, right?
Yeah.
A lot.
So that once we're ready, I can go in there and be like, hey guys, like if you guys want to like get in your scores and be in teams with other friends that have different devices, like come hang out.
Yeah, it's
Right.
like Kev. He's a Garmin user. He's very active.
Which makes sense. He's like in my head, Kev is a guy, he's a skydiver, you know?
Yeah, he's great. He's very active. He's slower than me on a bike, but he's getting there.
Oh,
And
okay. Yeah, we got to
yeah.
clip
Oh,
that
he's
for him.
slower than you on a bike.
Yeah. How do you think his HRV is compared to yours?
Honestly, I think we're pretty similar.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're fairly similar.
Have you ever compared stats with him?
Yeah, we have, but like just kind of looking at.
Because he's signed
Screens.
up.
Yeah.
He signed up on the wait list, but
Yeah.
I don't want to give him. I know he's extremely critical.
No, make him hold out
Corwin?
a little bit.
Yeah, Cordwin is very critical. So we need to have
He's a good
perfect
man.
product for him.
Yeah, there we go.
But we're in the phase now of, well, I'm very happy we have Apple Watch because that one is a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, and
And it seems like they all work after Apple Watch Series 2. Like they
that's
all
old
work.
too. That's
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 old.
ancient.
So
Yeah.
We can
So we're
use
good.
most
And when
Apple
they
Watches.
released the Ring, oh my God.
when is that supposed to be this year?
They've never announced it.
No,
It's
I know.
just
They
like,
never announce it until they announce it.
we know they're building it. We know Samsung has a Ring, or they're Samsung has a
it's
Ring.
out.
So yeah, and Apple, I mean, during their big press conferences a couple times a year, the last one they did was all focused on health.
And there was no improvements really to the watch wasn't a big upgrade. It
No,
was pretty, and it was I think the 10th one, which normally the 10th
is something
anniversary was a
special.
big one. Maybe this year,
Yeah.
September.
So we'll see what Apple does, but yeah, and the wearables, it's just the more devices that we have, and our whole thing, like our business is called Pair, and right now we're pairing every wearable to be able to create that one score where everyone can be in groups and teams together. You can check on your friends, your loved ones, but soon enough you'll be able to pair many different things.
Mhm.
So like really, like I was saying, you track all your food on MyFitnessPal. So soon, if you want, like, the more you post about what you're doing and the more you post about what you're doing for your health, your food intake, and all that stuff, the more it motivates people like me to get on that. So you might not care to post it, but by you posting that or you posting your workouts every week, it's motivating someone like me who doesn't like to go to the gym and
Yeah.
who wants to eat clean, or whether I want to gain weight or lose weight or whatever it is. So being able to pair all of your different health-centric devices into one place and ecosystem organized really beautifully, I think is a really cool thing.
Yeah, and I think you guys started out with the niche wearables in
Yeah.
Whoop and Aura, and obviously now you're bringing on Apple, which is like getting a lot more mainstream. So the original users were maybe a little bit more health conscious, but
Mhm.
now with Apple, it's more mainstream users and Fitbit, things like that, where there's a huge number of users that you can bring on board
Yeah.
that may or may not have, really thought about fitness at all, or not thought about fitness, but thought about a score. I know, like I have an Apple Watch, and it gives you some data, but it doesn't obviously provide you a recovery score or anything like the Garmin's and the Whoops and all that.
Yeah. It seems like just based on the couple hundred people who've signed up, none of them are biohackers.
Right.
None of them are like
Yeah.
super health conscious people. They're all, it seems like people who are wanting to jump into the health journey, but they never have. And we thought at first it was going to be easier to bring on like, oh, you're an Apple or you're a Whoop user or Oura user, like it makes sense.
Mhm.
But just by, posting the clips and the podcasts and stuff like that, the people who are signing up are just people who want to have like a score.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they want to have a little bit of a better insight and,
Yeah.
and talk to and see other people what they're doing. But I was just looking at your watch. A lot of people, they'll come up to me and they'll say, "Oh, I want the Whoop or whatever, or an Apple Watch, but like I like my Rolex or I like my Tag Heuer or like my Timex watch, whatever it is, right?" But you, like other athletes that I see, you've got your watch on your left hand, but you have your Whoop on your right hand.
Yeah.
So that really is not the problem, right?
Like that? There we go.
I like to
Double
know
up.
the time, and I like to know my stats. So best of both worlds.
It's fair.
And that's what like the CEO of Whoop does.
There you
That's
go.
what Kevin O'Leary does.
Yeah.
That's what all the bosses do.
Yeah, it's not
Lando
saying
Norris does.
That's what Lando Norris does.
Contractually obligated. But
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he is. But like, yeah, even like the golfers, a lot of the golfers, I was looking like Donald Trump's granddaughter golfer. Yeah, she has her Rolex and her Cartier and all the fancy stuff there, but she also has her Whoop there. Like I was looking at like, not to get political, like the inauguration stuff. Like she was there all kitted out. She had the dress, the whole thing, the fancy watch, but boom, she also had her Whoop because she's an athlete and she's trying to go pro and stuff like that. And you see like Rory McIlroy and a lot of these guys too. They're doing it. So you don't need like your device. You can still wear your watch. You can still wear your jewelry. Like my mom didn't want a Whoop because it was like ruining her swag. But when I said, okay, well, you can get similar results with the Oura ring. So we got her the gold Oura ring and it kind of blends in with the rest of her jewelry. And now she's happy. Same thing with like Charlotte.
Exactly.
So there's something out there for everyone.
Yep.
So saying, I don't want to like not look cool. Like that's not an excuse. Being healthy is cool.
Yeah. And I think the athletes have done an amazing job to like make it cool to people and make it aware. But what we're seeing is that like these things transcend sports.
For sure.
Like, why wouldn't every person be able to optimize themselves? Like, why are athletes doing it? To optimize their life performance, right? In their sport. Well, couldn't you just use it to optimize your own health and your own life over time?
For sure.
I think people might be scared. A lot of people that I know, friends of mine, are scared to get into this journey because they fear the results that they're going to get. And I like to scroll through like the Whoop and the Oura communities on Reddit because there's a lot of people there and they talk about a lot of different things. And what I noticed is a lot of people, they first get it, but let's say they have a crazy night out with their friends and their scores are completely tanked. Well, then they're like, oh man, look what alcohol does. Look what cocaine does. Look what weed does. Whatever. I've seen meth. People saying, look, I did meth last night. Look what my recovery score was. I was like, yo, people actually do meth and talk about it online. That's crazy to me.
Wow.
And wear a Whoop, like that doesn't seem like an algorithm that makes sense to me.
Two different demographics.
It doesn't, but there's a lot of people out there, right? So you never know. But what I've noticed is especially with the people with alcohol, they're like, oh, I completely just stopped alcohol. Like my focus here is my health. And if alcohol is going to ruin it every time, then I'm not going to drink anymore or something like that.
Yeah, like you said, people are afraid to get on. And I remember when I first got Whoop, I didn't know how the recovery score was measured. And, you know, the vibe score is similar. But the good thing about it is it's tailor-made to you, right? So like, you're not going to get a terrible score every single day, even if you're living relatively unhealthy.
No.
Because it's kind of a competition against yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, you have your own baseline.
Yeah. Can you improve, you know, maybe sleep a little bit better? Can you drink a little bit less? Can you do this? Can you do that? And if you do, you're going to get a really good score. You know, you're going to have to keep improving to continue to get those good scores. But yeah, there's nothing to be afraid about. Like it's
it's just like it's
cool.
it's a lifestyle shift. It's like your subconscious knowing that things are about to change.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of going to the doctor to get a checkup or whatever, and then once you get that clean bill of health, you're good. But before you get it, you're like, you're thinking everything might be wrong with
yeah, of course,
thing, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of times, like people are talking about the vibe score as like trying to understand what it is, and it's a scale.
Yeah.
You don't compare. You don't go on a scale and then I try to get the number that you had.
Right.
It's a scale that measures like my body, my certain things, my averages, my everything. So thinking about it as a scale, it's like some days it's good, some days it's bad. You know, some days you're bloated.
Yeah.
Like it's not your fault. And that's why we want to start introducing a point system. Because if you went to bed like within your range of when you go to bed normally.
Yeah.
If you did things that are independent of the scale that are like essentially effort points, then you should be rewarded.
For sure.
Because Dre's been trying to change his whole routine to do something healthier.
Yep.
And he's penalized with the vibe score because it's worse before it's better.
For sure. It takes a while. It's going to be, you have to do it consistently to get the
yeah.
change.
But if you get your steps, if you followed your bedtime, if you do at least one activity, if like whatever those things are, and then you can earn those points every day. Like, did you log in? Like, did you come into pair?
Are you breathing?
Yeah, you'll get those points.
Oh, like Scotty, if let's say we introduced the steps, like I always say, steps is every app can calculate your steps. But if you now had a step goal, you are going to make sure that you crush that step goal, right? It'll make you want to do it a little more.
Yeah, like personally, I don't know. Yes, it's more motivation. It's something that I'll be looking at. I don't know if it'll make me like walk around the block a few times to hit that number, because I'm already, fairly active. Maybe if I was not working out that day or something, then maybe I would make sure that I get those steps to get the bonus points.
But if it's there and you can see the progress of others.
But for sure, no, if it's a metric that you guys are looking at, and it's an important thing, right? It's measuring how active you are. So yeah, it's something that people would pay attention to.
Because I sit down at my desk.
Me too,
for long hours.
Me too.
Yeah.
And that's one of the good things. It's kind of annoying, but one of the good things about the Apple Watch is it does bug you to stand up every hour.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like, as opposed to having a 10,000 step goal for the day, maybe be like, it's 10 a.m. and you've only got 1,000 steps. Like maybe it's time to get a few steps in, as opposed to trying to get 10,000 steps in at 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's some good insight right there.
Or on Whoop, do you have a strain goal that you want to hit every day, or no?
I don't have a goal, but and I don't really measure strain. Well, it is measured obviously, but I don't really look at it.
Yeah.
It's always fairly high.
Well, yeah, if you're active, it's going to be high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you give, that's, I guess, think enough for the pair updates.
But we kind of, we're going into all kinds of things.
So we do call Scotty the Wayne Gretzky of vibes, because he's one of the best, and he's also 99 pretty much.
He is the best.
Yeah, he is the best. Clearly, he is the best.
You are the best.
You are the best
We're
on
not
pair.
Worthy.
Yeah. So can you maybe tell our friends here a little bit about your normal routine, not your current vacation routine, but like what is your normal kind of routine with maybe wake up at sleep times or eating past a certain time or anything it would be that contributes towards your vibe score? And also, if you started off on pair with lower vibe scores, what made you raise your averages, whether it was with Whoop or on pair?
For sure. I'm pretty consistent in terms of, especially bedtime with, 2 kids. One of them is pretty young and you don't know if you're going to get a good night's sleep. So it's like quite consistent. And early. It is an early bedtime. Like I go to bed early.
So what is early?
Like for sure I'll be in bed by like 9:30.
Cool.
If I'm not going out.
Okay.
For sure.
And you're passed out by like 10?
Oh yeah.
Or even before that?
When you go to bed,
sure.
do you bring your cell phone to bed?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, which is a terrible habit.
Well,
I don't use it all the time. And like the last few nights, because my son is sick and he's having terrible night sleeps, I didn't use it in bed, and my HRV was like very high. Whether that was the cause, maybe not. But for sure, no, that's not a good habit. I do.
So are you like in bed, again, like on your phone?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. No, I don't know, because mine stays downstairs.
But again, it's it's not a good habit, but it's consistent, and the score is tailored to me, right? So if you do it every single night, there's no penalty. But if you don't do it one night, like a couple of nights ago, and your HRV is up, well, now it's going to make it harder to hit that HRV, get that score. Yeah. If you continue using your phone. I don't do it all the time, but yeah, I do.
And that's what's interesting though about tracking every day, like 30-second segue here. If you just live your normal life and just see what the scores are, you're going to be able to see on like a really high day, you'll say, hey, what did I do yesterday that led me to this? And on like consistent low days, you'll ask yourself the same thing. And then when you pop up, you're like, and you start to like learn, like your own AI of like starting to figure out patterns that are working for you or not helping you at all. And that's the real beauty of it. Mm-hmm. And we're all different.
Yeah, exactly. And I was watching the Brian Johnson documentary. He wants to live forever, right?
Don't die.
And I think that's awesome. But at the same time, the amount of effort that goes into what he does is insane. And like, good for him. And if you want to do that, that's incredible. But I think you can achieve like quite a good portion of that with a lot less work. You don't have to have 1,000 supplements a day and do this crazy regime. It's, if it works for you, great. But that's a little bit too intense for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's where I see our positioning. It's like the don't die extreme biohackers want to live forever. Like, okay, it's amazing. And then there's like everybody.
Yeah.
If we can be here, where there's way more people here than here, we can accomplish a lot.
For sure. Yeah.
Right? Like, what are the simplest pillars? And like focusing on the vibe score. If you can improve your vibe score, you're going to be accomplishing like 80% of that.
Exactly. It's like 80-20 or maybe even 90-10. Like you can get 90% of the results with fraction of not the work. I don't want to call it the work, but
the lifestyle commitment.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, no, I use my phone at night. But I have very consistent bedtimes at night. I wake up in, pretty consistent window.
So you're on your phone at night, let's just say.
But you're not spending 2 hours in bed.
No, of course not. No.
It's like, when are you putting your phone? Because we had a conversation with Trin this morning and he's like, I want to take notes of what Scotty's doing because if you look at my scores, I'm the worst on pair. I'm the worst.
Yeah.
But I want to be healthy. I just have no idea. That's why he wants to learn from you.
It's a bad habit, but I don't find it affects me very much. But no, I'll like put it down and then go to sleep, like right there.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
But so it's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes
of being on my phone.
Yeah.
5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yeah. So that's not bad.
I don't think this is a hack to improve your vibe.
No. But it's more like understanding your process.
Right.
Yeah. But I'd say most people are not like when they're going to bed with their phones, they're on Reels or TikTok or something for hours, not 5 minutes. So 5 minutes is going to have zero effect.
Yeah.
Totally. If you're on like doom scrolling nonstop and refreshing and doing all that stuff, that apparently is a major HRV, resting heart rate killer. It's terrible.
Dopamine killer.
It's it's overly dopamine and it's killing your circadian rhythm because the blue light too is just destroying the face.
And I can feel it. Like I can consciously feel it if I've been on too long and like watching videos that are super stimulating for
your brain
20, 30 minutes.
Melted.
Yeah, you feel it. And I don't know. I'd have to look at my score the next day, but I can just tell like this was not a healthy thing to do.
So let's say there was like kind of the journal thing, and it's like if there were just like 3 things to click, like were you on? Like you're a little lower. Are you on your phone?
Yeah.
Like was it phone? Was it this? Was it that?
Yep.
It'd be an easy click
for sure.
So no TV in your bedroom, right?
We never watch TV in the bedroom. No. Never,
okay.
Never. Not at night. Like very, very, very rare. But we'll watch TV and then go to bed. We don't watch a lot of TV. We'll watch maybe like an hour max.
At night?
At night. And then go to bed. A few minutes of the phone in bed.
Yeah, there we go. Get you a little.
Yeah, just check the last few things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send me the last few stupid videos.
Exactly.
So what does your morning look like? Like typical wake up time?
Very consistent. Wake up, usually around 6 around there. Kids, breakfast. Always have breakfast, like you were saying before.
What's a Scotty breakfast?
Classic. So blueberries.
Okay.
Greek yogurt.
Nice.
And all bran buds, which is fiber.
Okay.
And I've been actually mixing in protein.
Cool.
To the Greek yogurt.
Okay.
So it's like doubling it up.
I was shocked at how well it mixed in the first time I did it. It's incredible. Yeah.
Just regular protein powder?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Like vanilla? Yeah, vanilla with Greek yogurt. It's like, it just tastes like Greek yogurt that's vanilla.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's standard. Then I'll have, what's that?
Cafe?
Yeah, of course. I'll have, and I've been drinking a lot of coffee here.
Yeah, here you
Yeah, drinking coffee.
What kind of coffee do you drink here usually when you go out in the morning?
In the morning, I'll have a cold brew. But at the house, we just have like a regular drip, which normally at home I have espresso. I'll have 2 usually.
Okay.
On the weekends, maybe a couple more, feeling spicy.
Yeah.
But I'll have 2. And espresso, like people think there's a lot of caffeine in that, which it's not very much. It's very small. But yeah, I've been having drip coffee here because that's what we have.
Oh, at the Airbnb?
Yeah. And then I'll go out and I'll get a cold brew.
Nice. I think it's fun to go out and get a coffee and like see the world.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I mean, when you work from home, you're home a lot. Like even for me, I have my first coffee around 7:30 or whatever. When I get out of my bedroom, I'll have a little 1 espresso and then I'll go out for a coffee because it's like, 1, I can take out my dog. We go walk around. He says hi to the other dogs. We go in this little complex and then you see the regular people. So you get to socialize with other people and it starts the day kind of nicely. So 1 little espresso at home, 1 cold brew after that. And I try to cut the caffeine now by 10 a.m.
Yeah. That's another thing I always do is during a weekday, for sure, I won't have caffeine after whatever, like maybe 8 o'clock at the latest.
AM.
AM.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you don't have any coffee after 8 a.m.?
No. On the weekend, a little bit later, like to go out with my daughter and we'll go to the bakery. I'll have a coffee. So like a little bit later. And that's something that I've been doing here, interestingly, because I've been getting pretty good vibe scores. But I'll have coffee like until like 10, 11, maybe even 12, which is later than I normally would.
12 is my cutoff.
And you're probably going to bed later than usual too while you're on vacation lately, right?
No, not really.
No? Okay, still 9:30? It's true.
Unless you're looking at Eastern time. And
yes, if you're looking at Eastern time.
What's great is like, I don't like when my routine is fully disrupted, but when they were coming into town, it's like Scotty, his wife, who's my cousin, the 2 kids, his mom, my grandma. So there's 6 people.
Yeah.
And I was like, when they were coming, I was like, oh man, like we're gonna have like busy nights, late nights, this and that. And then I'm like, no, never mind. I'm still, no matter what we've been doing, even if we're out all day, I'm like still home at like 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Like we've eaten super early. I'm 6 p.m. I'm home. I'm resting. I'm relaxing. So the routine wasn't fully disrupted, which was nice.
Yeah,
that's a great perk about you guys.
Well, and it's very consistent because like Theo, his bedtime is very early, so it's
he's literally like a newborn. He needs to.
Yeah, it's difficult to go out.
How old is Theo?
He's 8 months. He just
so he's 8 months, like from this podcast.
Yeah,
8 months old,
and
he's gonna watch this one day.
Yeah, he'll be 9 months.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, it's difficult to go out for dinner and stuff like that because he has an early bedtime. So
okay, because newborns, like, how was your sleep after Angela had Theo?
Not great for sure. And that could be why I'm getting so many purples these days, actually, because my sleep suffered a little bit. You know, and
yeah, but your average is 88. Your average has gone up.
Yeah,
you know, because most people who have like there's a couple of people in Pair who have had kids like not too long ago, and their sleep scores don't look that bad.
Yeah,
right. Is there a difference, like what you think your bad sleep is versus like what it is if it's measured?
I think also like I make more of an effort. Like I always slept pretty well, but I'm making more of a conscious effort to like go to bed on time. He's gotten a lot better, but at first he was having a lot of trouble sleeping. And so there'd be a lot of, crying and late nights and stuff like that. So I'd make sure to go to bed by a certain time because you don't know if he's going to be up for many hours.
Okay.
The best was like the other, like on Saturday, Friday night, I text Scotty 9 o'clock, 9:30 or something. I said, hey, I'm going to pick you up at 7:30 in the morning to go to this car event because he strategically booked his vacation around Arizona Car Week.
It's coincidence.
Yeah, big coincidence. So he didn't answer me that night. I was like, oh, he's probably sleeping, no problem. Then at like 7 in the morning, I text him, hey, like I'm on my way. No answer. And then he answered me like when I was 2 seconds from the house. And he gets in the car. I pick him up. He gets in the car. He's like, oh man, he's like, I just woke up. He's like, I didn't even check my sleep scores or anything. He's like, I really slept horribly. So he checks his Pair. His vibe score is like 90 something. He got 9 something hours of sleep total.
Yeah, that was a good snooze.
Yeah, but he's like, damn, my sleep was horrible because the kid was waking me up all night. So I thought he was going to have like 4 or 5 hours, but he still had a crazy, amazing score. But I guess his sleep was disrupted more than usual.
Yeah, it was disrupted more than usual. And I think I've also noticed, wearables are only so good.
Yes.
I've noticed sometimes where, it says I'm in REM where I'm like, I don't think I was there. Also the flip, like there are some nights where I have these super vivid dreams and usually I don't remember my dreams at all, but I will remember them. Like I wake up during a dream or whatever and it says that I had like 30 minutes of REM. And I'm like, no way. Come on.
Yeah.
I sometimes see that too.
Yeah.
You were in dream world.
Yeah. Like sometimes it'll say that I have 9 hours of sleep, but it's not necessarily the case.
Yeah. And these devices aren't perfect, right?
No.
They're good devices, but they're still
beginning.
It's still in their infancy. I know like a lot of the people for the Whoop, they're waiting for the next one. They're like, oh, I can't wait for Whoop 5.0 or whatever. They're like, damn, my battery is dying on the 4.0, but I don't want to buy a new one because I'm waiting for the 5.0 because they're waiting for the technology to get even better, to have more accurate readings. So with every iteration of these devices, it's going to keep getting better and more accurate. And
believe it or not, like for the technology to really advance and hit that spike, it needs like a massive influx of volume.
For sure.
Right? I feel like we are going to contribute to that volume spike in the innovation.
Definitely.
Of wearables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so really quick now, lunchtime. What does lunch look like?
Lunch is very consistent during the week. So I'll have like a large salad. Very exciting.
Yeah.
I'll put some chicken in there, proteins, eggs maybe.
Okay.
It's very boring, very consistent, but I like it. I like salads. So,
Okay, great. And then what does dinner look like?
Dinner's, it's earlier with kids now. We used to eat very later.
Yeah.
But now we're eating at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, something like that.
My favorite time to eat.
It's a great time to eat. And dinner it's always like pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Got some meat in there. We got some
Patates?
maybe some patates,
Rice.
maybe some rice or some quinoa or something like that. I'm a big fan of quinoa.
Okay, nice. It's protein packed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And yes, veggies and stuff like that.
And so that's like a 5 o'clock, you're done dinner at 5:30, 6, let's say. So there's a 3.5 hour spread until bed.
Which is ideal.
Are you a snacker in the evening?
No, not really. And it's something that I find is very easy to get into.
Oh, yes.
Like around
I can confirm that.
around Halloween and Christmas,
they're
everywhere.
Yeah. We'll go trick-or-treating and Mila will get a whole bunch of candy and somehow some of it disappears because we don't want her to eat all of it.
Yeah.
And then it's sitting there.
Disappears in his gut.
It disappears onto a shelf, but then I have
that
access
shelf is
to
within eye.
Exactly. And so, you'll have one and then you'll have another one and then you'll have another one. And it's easy to fall down that slope. And again, I don't know if this is a vibe hack or whatever, but like eating fruit is really, I find it satisfies that craving. Again, it's really boring, but it satisfies the craving and it
contributes to your vibe.
Contributes to your vibe, yeah.
I found the same thing when I replaced like chocolate, or when I replaced, because I haven't completely replaced anything. But on the nights I choose an orange, and maybe some tea, maybe a little honey in my tea, that goes a long way. It takes your palate a little time to get used to it because it's not as good as Oreos.
Of course.
But my scores are always way consistent. Last night I had an orange, and I had a huge vibe score today.
Yeah. I will say if I eat sugar, like a little bit of chocolate, not a ton of chocolate, but a bit, and I don't normally do it, I often have a good vibe score the next day or recovery. So it's not just, a pair thing. My HRV is higher, essentially. It spikes my HRV. If I do it, I've been here for a little while now and I've been eating some pretty unhealthy foods.
Okay.
And I've been getting decent recoveries, but I think if I keep doing it for a couple more days, I'll probably start to tank the score.
Because maybe there's a fine line where it's like it has like stress relieving properties.
Yeah.
Like if you have a little bit of chocolate, it soothes you, it relaxes you. But if you're going ham on it,
exactly,
it's going to tank.
And it's true. Like I haven't had chocolate or anything in probably 3 weeks now. You notice it's a huge difference. I don't crave it. Let's say I have little chocolate snacks or something like 2 nights in a row. That third night, my body needs it. Your body, it's like, yo, give me whatever that was because that was so good. It made me feel so amazing. And it honestly does sometimes take away stress. I don't know the science behind it. I just know how I feel. Sometimes if I'm stressed or whatever about something, I'll have 3 or 4 little cookies of some sort. And right away, I'm just I'm like this, which is not a good thing. So I'm 3 weeks, no chocolate, no sweets at night, no, none of that. And yeah, I definitely feel better. I'm sleeping better. My sleep has been getting a little bit better. And I honestly don't crave it. But if let's say I do have it 2 nights in a row, I will be craving it and then it will be hard to get off of it again.
Yeah.
Because sugar, they don't say it, but sugar is like a drug. I think eating a lot of sugar and bad cookies and stuff like that, as delicious as they are, it's no worse than smoking weed to me. It's no worse than smoking weed or having too many drinks. It's just as bad.
It's super addictive. And you've been on the microbiome for a long time.
Yeah.
It's 100% true. When I start having chocolate around Halloween or around Christmas, I want to have more of it. And normally I don't have any cravings. Right now, I don't have any cravings.
Yeah.
Because I'm not normally eating it. But as soon as you have a little bit, your body wants more of it. It's the same with booze. It's the same with literally everything. If you don't have it for, a week or whatever, you kind of reprogram a little bit. But then when you have it, your body wants more of it.
Yeah, you got to
totally. It's like a micro civilization that it's like you're dropping. I'm envisioning the Amazon, and you throw in this huge tree that has all these fruits, and then society starts to build around that tree on a very microcosm, tiny way. That's what chocolate is like. As soon as it's inputted regularly, or sweets or sugar, whatever, the the world within starts to build around it and becomes dependent on it. And when it doesn't have it, it starts to send those signals to, that's how I understand it.
Yeah.
To seek more.
I guess it's kind of also, but same but different with salty snacks. Some people don't like.
It's the same with anything. Like the machine wants what we give it.
What we give it. Yeah.
It more of what we want. Like,
so let's give it good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I did notice every now and then, I don't snack a lot, but I buy this healthy organic kettle corn. Forgot what it's called. It's a pink bag. And it's really delicious. And I've noticed a few times when I do have that at night, if I do feel snacky, it's kind of rare, but if I do, I'll have like a handful or maybe sometimes 5 handfuls. But a lot of the times I have that, my HRV is good and my recovery, my vibe score is actually good.
It's funny you say kettle corn because I have the same experience. When I have that kettle corn, my stats are good. Like I think like
That's
I had
salty and sweet too.
Yeah,
actually.
I think like, oh man, I totally tanked myself. But the next morning I'm like, like, hey, I'll take it.
With the kettle,
I thought I was going to get
kettle
yellow.
corn might be a little bit of a hack. Maybe it's because it's something people don't eat all the time. So when you
and it's not overly sweet.
No, it's not overly sweet. I when I was trying to researching like how I can sleep better or whatever, and I was like, is being at a calorie deficit detrimental to your sleep? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. If you're going to bed super, super hungry, your body's in fight or flight. It's waking up at 2 a.m. saying you need food. It's like why it's why I was making fun of myself saying like the other night I woke up, I was half asleep and I just ate like 8 pieces of cheese,
Yeah,
that's the wildest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, but
such an ugly post.
It's a funny post though.
I love it.
And then, but I went on YouTube, I was searching something and one of these science guys was like, yeah, like, look, like if you're in like cutting mode, it was like a big workout guy. And if you're in like cutting mode or whatever, and you do go to bed and like you're starving before you even get into your bed, he's like, just grab a spoonful of almond butter or peanut butter, whatever you have. And he's like, that should be good for the whole night. And it's true. I think the night before I did that, before bed, I was pretty hungry. So I just grabbed some Jif peanut butter, whatever you call it, just one giant spoonful. And I let my dog lick the rest of it. And I had my first purple day in like a month.
There we
so
go.
maybe a little life hack was, but now I'm trying to eat more throughout the day. Like I'm trying to literally do like 2 or 3 meals a day.
How many meals were you doing before?
Just one.
That's
just one at 5
So
o'clock.
was I.
You can't do that. You can't sustain that.
I know. I clearly,
but
my
the body
have been showing it.
The body gets used to it though.
For sure. Yeah.
That's the
yeah,
problem.
Yeah, that's why I'm never. It's not that I was hungry.
But and I don't know. I'm not an expert or anything, but they say like obviously there's a lot of benefits of fasting, but one of the big drawbacks is getting adequate protein. Really, really hard to get enough protein with one meal.
Yeah.
And so you get skinny, but you lose your muscle.
Yeah.
Like, what happened to me? I got skinny and lost all my muscle, but I also didn't go to the gym for a year.
Like I'll do intermittent fasting occasionally, and I enjoy it. Like it's fun and like it's nothing crazy. Don't eat breakfast and lunch and then have dinner. But if you actually like, especially if you're using MyFitnessPal, which I haven't in a while, but
you're not hitting your goals.
Yeah, look at it. And like you need to get like.
I was hitting my goals on 1 meal a day, but I was eating a crazy amount of protein. This was before I was tracking. So if I would have seen like my HRV and my resting heart rate would have been like
through the roof.
The worst.
For sure.
Because I was eating like 3,000 calories at night.
Yeah, that's insane.
And that's the thing too. I don't really calculate my protein, but I kind of know how much I need. So like if I'm having that 1 meal a day, I'm just going to have an 18-ounce ribeye. Almost all my protein comes from that 18-ounce ribeye. Yeah. However, then it's spending 6 hours trying to digest that whole thing. Cause I not only did I have that, but I had a bunch of rice and I had a bunch of other stuff. So it's like,
and you get the meat sweats
and all the incredible fat in it.
Yeah. And then you literally feel your heart like this for like a little while, for a couple hours after you ate, because it's trying to digest that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I find. Like I either don't eat enough after I've been fasting to, get your protein and all that stuff. Or I eat what I needed and then I feel terrible.
Because
I just
too
ate
much.
so much.
Yeah, it was an overload. That's why it's separate. So that's what I'm doing now is I'm trying to separate them throughout the day.
Then it's way easier. It's way better on the system.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that like I'm much less moody. Like I'm way less, I feel way more balanced when I have a little something in the morning, a little something in the afternoon, and something at night. And I intermittent fast every day. But my intermittent fasting is like from 7 p.m. to 9 a.m.
Yeah. Which is very manageable.
Or 8 a.m. That's...
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, even before, like an overnight fast is what you should be doing.
Yep.
Not during the day.
Yeah. I took it too far. Like I'd say like half the time I was fasting 24 hours sometimes.
Yeah, but it looks like you've actually gained some back, like in a healthy way.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and you can do that, and I don't think there's any harm in that.
No,
but I just wouldn't do that consistently.
Yeah, no, I'm stopping that. My big thing is like I don't have groceries. I don't keep anything at home, so like I don't have like snacks or whatever. So like normally I'll just leave the house at 5 o'clock. I'll go to the grocery store around the corner, buy what I need for that night, and then go to bed. So now I just have to kind of change the whole regimen. Is like keep all that stuff, and I stop. I don't buy groceries a lot because I live alone, and if I buy too many things, half of it goes to waste.
For sure, yeah.
Like it all goes to the garbage. So you know,
you're gonna figure.
So I'm trying to figure out the whole new system. Like I haven't done groceries because you guys have been here since we've been out a lot. But like tomorrow, once you guys leave, I'm gonna go do like a huge grocery, do the fruits, get all the frozen stuff to make smoothies, and like really start the new regimen to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like obviously with Ange and all that kids that we need to feed.
Yeah, you have to have food.
We have to have food.
You have children that need to survive.
Yeah, and I love cooking, but I hate planning. Like I don't want to think about unless there's something that I actually want to eat.
Yeah, like
I hate going to the grocery store and like thinking about it. So I'll often just go and grab random items.
I feel
like you do.
Yeah.
So that's a day in the life of Scott Coristine.
Very exciting.
So he just pretty much keeps it classy.
Yeah, consistent, classy.
Just consistent.
You still go out on the weekend once in a while, have a drink, like once a week, like you're saying.
And the key is don't go out like till 2 a.m. You're gonna get a terrible score.
Okay,
so every time.
So are you like? Let's say you go out.
So when you do go out with the boys for the beers or whatever you do have, because we don't drink anymore, so I don't have that thing. So when you do go out with the boys, what is it like? Or how are you? Not necessarily their behaviors, but
like daytime, afternoon type thing.
Early,
like a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, something like that before dinner.
Smart guy.
Yeah, if like once in a while we'll go out.
Yeah,
and
indulge.
Yeah, I get home at an unreasonable hour, and then it's just terrible. And it's not just because you had bad sleep, but you had like all this food and everything else that your body's trying to
the whole mix
deal with instead of sleeping.
So you go for a couple of drinks. You're not having like electrolytes after and like stuff like that, are you?
Sometimes.
Okay, so sometimes you do try to.
Yeah, the snake juice you got me ran out.
Okay.
So I was going to reorder it, but then I forgot. And
yeah. Well, now there's all kinds of electrolyte brands.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was first mover.
But I think that's the best.
It's the best one, pound for pound.
But they don't sell it in Canada. It's hard to find.
Yeah.
So you drink alcohol. When you do it, you're going to drink earlier in the day on a Saturday with your friends.
Yeah. If you have a couple of drinks, not condoning, but if you have a couple of drinks during the day, like there's zero impact to your score, like nothing.
Well, it's what Kevin O'Leary said, Mr. Wonderful, the investor guy. He literally, when he got a Whoop, he loves wine. He has vineyards and stuff like that. So it's something he really enjoys. But he realized, oh man, my scores are absolutely awful. So he started just drinking his wine earlier in the day. Yeah. He's like, have it for lunch or whatever earlier in the day. And he's like, it's perfect. I still get to enjoy it. And it has no impact on my sleep or anything like that. My body has already digested it. And whatever.
The problem is when the 2 drinks in the afternoon lead to a couple more and then.
I guess
it leads to a whole weekend.
I guess someone like him, he drinks wine, I would say not to get drunk. Yeah. I would say a guy like that is probably spending like thousands of dollars on a bottle because he can afford it. And it's the taste and it's the quality. So
I'm sure it feels good too.
Well, of course it's nice to have a little buzz, but I don't think he's doing it to get hammered. I think he's doing it because he just loves wine.
It's funny. Sometimes, somebody will send a group message like, oh, you want to go out for a couple of drinks at like 5 o'clock? And Tim likes to say, there's zero chance that I'm going to go out unless you get me out by like 3 o'clock and you get a couple of drinks in me. Then I would go out.
Then you might stick around.
Going out at 6 o'clock at night, like there's 0%.
You're already planning your evening.
I'm not already out. There's no way I'm going.
I love that.
Same here. How about that same thing 10 years ago? You're 37 years old. So let's say when you were 27, 6 o'clock, we were only just getting started.
The night was not even begun.
No, 6 o'clock, it's like.
6 o'clock was like.
They're like, yo, call me at 9.
We were thinking about making a dinner reservation at 6 o'clock or 9 o'clock.
For 9 o'clock, and then we start drinking at 9, and then we go out at 12, and we're home at 4.
Yeah. Or Friday night, 7:30.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you up to? Hey, come over, Scott, pick up some ice.
Sure.
Yeah.
A couple bags of ice.
Yeah, we needed them.
We needed it.
Like, you were the plug. I appreciate all your years of service.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we all used to be pretty damn crazy, especially the three of us together. Like
We had a nice time.
like
We had some good times.
the three of us. Last time the three of us.
We had some good times here.
Last time the three of us were in Arizona together, or the second, like 2 times ago, was at our buddy's wedding. And
No, it was my bachelor party.
oh, it was your bachelor. Okay, so even worse. So your bachelor party, we went crazy for a whole weekend.
That was the beginning of the end for us.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
After your bachelor party, which I planned, I came home and I stopped drinking. I didn't drink for 2 years, not even a sip of alcohol. And that was like, I don't know, 8 or 10 years ago or something crazy.
The quitter's mentality.
It is a quitter's mentality. And then maybe a year before that was Traver's wedding.
Yeah.
And we came and we sat at the
That was a
W,
real
that
disgrace.
signature champagne picture. We were
Yes.
drinking champagne. We were all like blacked out before the wedding even started and disgraced
And
ourselves.
you guys were part of the wedding too.
And we were part of the wedding. It was a real mess.
Yeah.
But
Fun weekend.
it was a very fun weekend. Stayed at the Westin there.
We did, yeah.
Kierland.
Yeah.
But such a big difference. And that was like a while back. But now our lives are so different. You have kids and
Yeah.
stuff, but we're all the same age. And it's crazy how now it's like, yo, don't message me after 6, after 5. I'm not leaving the house.
Zero chance.
Like, yeah, let's go for an early dinner, a late lunch, a lunch of some sort. But like, even me, I want to be home by 8 o'clock if I'm doing something. Like a lot of my friends, when they ask me to go for dinner, it's like, yo, you want to go? Let's go to Buck and Ryder at 9 o'clock.
That's wild.
I'm like, at 9 o'clock,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I'm
I
like,
got
dude,
bedtimes.
I'm sleeping. Like I'm,
Yeah,
maybe
no,
I'm
I
not
wanna-
sleeping.
I want to be at home with the cat, watching
I'm
shows with Yuli.
Yeah.
I'm not sleeping at 9 o'clock, but at 9 o'clock, I want to be like on my couch having my relaxed time. So if you ask me to go to dinner at 5 o'clock, I'll go every day with you.
Yeah.
But nobody I know other than like you guys will go to dinner that early.
Yeah. And I guess that's, for me at least, kids definitely help with that.
Oh, big
Because
time.
like, I got bedtime at 7 o'clock for them. So if I want to go out for dinner, it's going to be at 5 o'clock,
Mhm.
No
or
choice.
at 9 o'clock once they're asleep fully.
Yeah. And then it's going to be a wild night.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
So I think we got the day in the life
Yeah.
or the general lifestyle of the Wayne Gretzky of vibes.
Yep.
Scotty Coristine.
Yeah.
I think for episode 10, I think we're doing pretty good. I think this is
Yeah.
you want to go further on this?
No.
podcast?
I think we're good. And I know, Scotty, you listen to most of the podcast, right?
Of course.
Do you listen on Spotify or do you watch on YouTube?
No, I'll watch it on YouTube.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
watching?
Oh,
Very cool.
Yeah. Have
nice.
it in the background.
Yeah, it's a
Well,
background
yeah.
piece.
Yeah, like I watch a lot of podcasts. I don't listen. I almost never listen to a podcast in the car or how do you say? Or wherever you would at the
Spotify.
gym or Spotify or whatever. It's usually when I'm doing something, like when I'm working, and I have it in the background. So I don't watch the Pair podcast because I am the Pair podcast. Right?
Interesting. Yeah, I never watch like any other podcast. It's always just listen in the car. Never watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never watch podcasts. I listen. I
Okay,
listen
cool.
all the time. So wait, but you
I watch.
watch, like you see our faces
Yeah,
and
of
stuff?
course. I'm not watching you guys the whole time, but it's there in the background.
Yeah,
and
that's how I do. Maybe because he knows us, so it's a
Yeah,
different
it's
different
different.
thing. And okay, well, anyway, Scott, really appreciate you having here on our 10th episode of the Major Vibe Show.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
And,
amazing. You're a natural, man.
Ah,
Yeah,
You
you
know?
are a natural,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of people who can learn from your very balanced lifestyle because slow and steady wins the race. You know.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, and it doesn't take like you're not doing cryo chamber stuff. You're not hanging upside down before bed.
No,
you know?
none of that.
No, like you're not the guy who's doing breath work and all this crazy stuff.
No.
Right? You're
Pretty-
just
pretty
living a
normal.
pretty normal life.
dude.
Well, it was like I saw a thing like Hermosi. He posted the other day. He was like, "Look, I made hundreds of millions of dollars, and no, I didn't wake up at 5 a.m. No, I was not sober. No, I didn't do this." He's like, "What I did have was discipline and a mission." You know, so just because all the internet gurus say you gotta take your cold plunge, you gotta do your 30 minutes or 3 minutes of breath work, and you gotta do this and this and this.
It's like
no.
fad diets or fad workouts.
Yeah.
They're good for clicks because they're like, oh, this crazy little thing's going to change my life.
Exactly.
It's like, no, you got to change your life.
They
right?
say it because they want to be an internet guru, right? You
Exactly.
gotta have this wild routine.
Yeah, because it is like because what they say is kind of fun. It'll maybe spark someone to make a change or do something. But your way is the boring way, but it's the way that works the best.
Yeah,
It's like just live a decent lifestyle. That's all it takes.
Same as a diet, right? If you have this crazy extreme diet, like great, yeah, you'll lose weight, but you're not gonna maintain that thing.
No.
Like it's sustainable.
Yeah. Athlete
same thing.
Next says the best diet is the diet that you can do
Yeah.
your whole life.
Jeff Cavalier.
Jeff Cavalier.
Yeah, he's
Shout
great.
out. He's an OG.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Scott. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Scott, you're the man.
Thanks
for
for
being
having
here.
me.
Great having you as a pair power user, a pair ambassador, and the best looking man on pair.
Oh, well,
That's 100%.
So you also
true.
win there, and the tallest.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining us on the Major Vibes Show, episode 10. And once again, I'm Andy. This is Scotty, and this is my brother Mish. And we'll see you next week on episode 11.
awesome.
Cheers.
Rock over London.
Rock on, Chicago.
Come on,